I don't know if you can hear those noises. That's cicadas. They're an insect that come out in the summer. They've only just popped out. We've had a shit summer. It's only just come right, so I'm just going to take you down and show you the beach. This is what a summer in New Zealand is supposed to be like, but it's what we have not had yet. It's been very late. Usually it's like this all the way through, kind of mid-January through till the end of March. But as I say, the hot, balmy weather has been very, very late coming this year. I put this video up before, about a year ago. This is where I live. It's Takapuna Beach in Auckland. It's Friday afternoon, so it's not terribly busy. But I come down here every now and again to remind me of just what a hell of a great place we live in. That's Rangitoto Island. It's an extinct volcano, and if you go around the corner, around a couple of bays, and then there's a harbour that sweeps up, that's the main part of the Auckland city. But beyond this island there are about a dozen smaller islands. You can see some of them, Rakino, just out there, up the back, and the big island out the back is Waiheke. So there's Tiritiri Lighthouse up there. Great Barrier is just on the horizon. We're going across to Great Barrier next weekend, Poto and I, for a fishing diving trip. This is a great place to be. It's peaceful, it's clean, it's very low key. But to be honest with you, it's become a country that is really a lifestyle block. It's not economically viable. We're just too small and too far away. And consequently, a lot of our young people are moving. They're moving on. They come out of university if they've got a useful qualification, and they head overseas. And often they stay overseas for 10, 20 years. They make their money over there, and then they retire back here to New Zealand, or come back when they're financially secure. It's a tough place to do business, simply because the economies of scale mean that you have to really be an exporter, and we're a long way away, which imposes transport costs and something called the tyranny of distance. But on the other hand, the tyranny of distance means that we're quite safe. The rest of the world's problems sort of pass us by. There was a American think tank, Wikipedia leaked a report. They were doing an analysis on New Zealand as part of the Western Alliance Defence Alliance, and the comments made were, if you wanted to find somewhere strategically less fucking significant in the world, you'd be hard-pressed to go past New Zealand. We're just, we're not in the way of anybody. We don't have any great natural resources. Really no big deal. So we've been left unmolested down here at the end of the world, and that's not a bad thing. But it does mean that in order to get out and sample some of the better things in life that aren't related to environment, you have to get out of here. You've got to go overseas. You've got to go to Europe or the States. Well, I've been a little bit, people saying I've been critical of America. I'm not. I'm very, 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 very fond of the place. I go back there a lot. But the point I was trying to make with those videos about the United States was it's not as it's cracked up to be as you might imagine it is on the TV shows and on Hollywood. It's better and it's worse. So anyway, this is just a little snapshot. That's Takapuna down there, the Takapuna Township, the shopping centre, goes all the way around, and then you've got the northern bays extending all the way up the coast. So I mean, it's not bad. I've been in other parts of the world, and certainly in France and parts of Europe, where if you wanted to come to a beach like this, you'd have to pay to be on the beach, or you'd have to pay to have deck chairs, or access would be restricted. This is open. Anybody can come down here, and they do. So I think I might go for a swim, actually. It's a beautiful day. That's probably it. Just giving you a little snapshot of Auckland City, New Zealand, and the Hauraki Gulf. Let's go for a wander down the drive, and I'll show you some of the different types of houses we have here. This block and tile, brick and tile unit behind us, that is the traditional New Zealand house from the 1950s. Brick was on a quarter-acre section, and that was, there were these things were built in hundreds of thousands. Most of them have gone now. People have subdivided the sections and knocked down the old homes. So this house here, which is very, very modern, that was similar to this, they've taken it down and built right across the entire property. So there's a real mishmash of properties in the area. These guys have attempted to reproduce a Tuscan type or Italian type building. I don't think very successfully, to be honest with you. It just, the architecture, although I love the architecture in Italy, in New Zealand it's just kind of out of place. People have made an attempt to do Italian places and Spanish places and they just stick out like dog's balls. They just don't really fit. There's a neighbour's place and here's our place. Now this place, when we bought it, was falling down, and there's my wife. Somebody on the phone for me? Who is it? Okay, tell them to call me back in 10. There's Joan up there. This house was a beach house once upon a time. It was a single story, and they did what they often did in the 1970s. They jacked it up, put another story on the bottom, and then built return verandas all around the house. There's a bit of land out the back, but when we bought it, it was on its last legs. In terms of the interior, it was just falling apart. But we bought it because we had 5 kids and we needed somewhere big. And we wanted to be near the beach, and we did it up about 2 years after we moved in. It took us a year to rebuild. It was a big project. I'm quite relaxed about showing the house now because I've been to the police arms officer and I had a good chat with him, and I'll tell you about another little incident that happened only a few days ago, which gives me a great deal of encouragement. But I don't have to be super sneaky about who I am, where I live. If people know me, they know what I've got, they know what I do, very easy to find. So as far as security of the farms is concerned, we've had to rely on some fairly sophisticated systems, which I'm not going to talk about, and a very attentive police force, which I will be talking about in a minute, because I had 5 armed policemen at the top of my drive 2 mornings ago. I'll tell you about that when I get inside. But again, it's a funny old place. You know, the whole neighbourhood is changing slowly. The old houses are being rebuilt, knocked down. Some of the larger properties are being subdivided. We're just going to stay put where we are for as long as possible. When the kids move out, we'll just lock the place down. Do a corporate rental. The gun room that I've got is just 100% secure. I can lock that off, alarm it, and you know, it's monitored, and there's other things in place which means that it's not a big deal just to leave it for 6 months at a time. It's a beautiful day. I'm just so pleased. Finally, we've got some sun. We've had 2 months of wind and rain, and it's been really unpleasant. This is what a New Zealand summer is supposed to be like, and I'm hoping like hell the weather stays for us. Stays like this for our trip next weekend. Again, for those of you who haven't seen this before, this is a World War II sea mine that we turned into a water feature of varying degrees of success. It works pretty well, I think. Let's go and make that phone call. Okay, well, just carrying on. As you probably remember from previous videos, I had a sort of a gypsy's warning from one of the police arms officers about showing my collection on my face, and I pulled a whole lot of videos on that basis. I've been to see my arms officer, and I've had a good chat with him and said, look, just how serious is this, and should I be concerned? Is it going to influence them when I go to reapply for my licences? And he said no, as long as you're compliant with the rules and regulations as far as security is concerned, and I am excessively compliant as far as that is concerned. And he also said, you know, the fact of the matter is that the collectors community in New Zealand is pretty small. Anybody that wants to find out who has large firearms collections just needs to hang around at the auctions and the gun shows, and they'll figure it out really quickly. We are well known, and our names are known. We live in an open society. People can find out where we live. It's no big stretch. So, you know, the idea of trying to keep a low profile, it's a good idea, but in terms of practical respects, it's a bit of a deep duck. So we rely on our security systems. And a couple of days ago, I came ambling downstairs with a cup of coffee, half asleep, opened up the door to the man cave without disabling the alarm system, and it activated. The alarm monitoring company rang within a minute. And I said, no, stand everybody down, it's a false alarm. And they said, well, as per your instructions, we've already alerted the police. And I said, well, get back on the phone and give the police my profuse apologies, but let them know that it's a false alarm. Anyway, while that was happening, this happened I was on the phone to them within a minute and a half, put the phone down with the security alarm monitoring company, and the phone rang again, and it was the police saying, who are you, what are you doing in the house? And I explained, terribly sorry, it's a false alarm. I said, well, you better go up to the top of your drive because you're going to find a whole lot of armed policemen up there. So they had been alerted to the fact that the gunroom alarm system had been activated. I had 3 police cars here, 5 armed policemen at the top of my drive, all glocked up and all suited up, and they were here within 7 minutes. And given that it was quite early in the morning, a lot of traffic, that's not a bad effort. So that was almost effectively, that was my rehearsal for my security system. I went up and explained to them what had happened. They came down, got my identification, came and had a look, kind of crapped themselves, as one of them said, the old Glock 17R Hippie is not going to be a great deal of use if we're up against somebody who's got this. But anyway, they had a look around, they were genuinely curious about the collection, we had a bit of a yap, no drama, thank them very much. And now they know what's in here. I mean, there was a senior constable and some junior constables were the ones that rolled in. And I said to the senior constable, when you get back, obviously you're going to talk about this, let all the guys know what kind of collection this is. So that if there is an alarm activation in the future, then they know to take it very seriously and maybe bring something a bit more substantial than a Glock. So we had a chat with them, I explained them the security system and the other hidden features of it, and they were very relaxed about it, so there's no drama. That was very reassuring that the police are onto it so fast. So that's that. Again, I wanted to take you down and show you the beach. I have some more things to say about New Zealand and the economic situation and our history, which I think might be of interest because not many people know about this country. That'll be the subject of a separate video. And other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just hope you enjoyed the view because it's just absolutely bloody gorgeous out there today. I hope you will. Talk to you soon.